Hey, you're live on YouTube. You're live on YouTube right now.
Welcome, everyone, to this second part. After all the requests that we received yesterday, we are ready for our second part of What's Next for America. And I've spent all day today just to make sure that everything works perfect. But of course, we still have some learning curves with this technology and all these technical parts. But I'm glad we're here today. If you're excited to be here today, say hi. Say hi in the comment section right now, and I'll see it in the beginning right now. Now, today, we won't have any gifts. We won't have any gifts today, but I still have some questions. We want to learn a couple of things really fast today, and hopefully we will understand where we left off yesterday. And I received a couple of questions. Some of you texted and or messaged, and hopefully those questions will be answered today as well. Now, uh, all right, we are ready. We are ready. If you can hear me, of course, let me see. Okay, so everyone is here. Good evening, everyone. Melissa, I see you. I see you. Good evening. I see Lisa. I see Steve. I see Terry, of course. Is Karen there too? Oh, Susan. Susan. Okay, Susan is there. All right. All right. We have we even have some people all the way from Canada. I just noticed yesterday there are some people from Canada watching. There are some people from even Indonesia watching. Of course, Madagascar and some other places. There are people from the Illinois area, I think Chicago area, some people from Tennessee. And so we are really from all over the place. Um, we will start in a little bit. And before that, we want to pray. Let me just put everything here ready, and we're going to pray, and then we're going to start immediately. I will put this as a pin on the top, and then we will continue right now. I hope this is the one that, yes, yes, there it is. All right, so let's pray. Let's pray really quick. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this time. We have a tough message, but beautiful message tonight. Prepare our hearts, prepare our minds, and be with me as well as I present this message tonight. Use me, use all of me, even some of my weaknesses. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, we are going to switch to the presentation mode, but But before that, let me know which state, which state, which state in the United States of America is your least favorite state? Which state in the United States of America is your least favorite state? Which state is your least favorite state? Which state is your least favorite state? I think that's a good question. And maybe the question is why, but we just want to know. We just want to know which state, or I just want to know which state is your least favorite state. Do you like more the East Coast? Do you like more the Midwest? Do you like more the West? Of course, we're in Nevada right now, so we're more of a West Coast people. And so anyway, I'm just curious to know which state is your least favorite state. Someone say California. Maybe because it's very expensive, or maybe because I don't know. Maybe you have your reason, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know who else has answers there, but I won't be able to see your answer anymore in a little bit. We're gonna start in the presentation mode. What's next for America, part 2. Are you guys ready? Let's go. All right. What's next for America? Now I have to go fast here because I think we're still. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right. So what's next for America, part 2? What's next for America, part 2? It's today, Monday at 6:30. We are here. All right. The United States in the Bible, end time prophecy. This is not just all prophecy in the Bible. This is the end time prophecy in the Bible. Prophecy, there are different kinds of prophecies in the Bible. But what we're talking about tonight and yesterday is the end time prophecy, something that is concerning the end time, or right now, probably. Tonight, right now is the end time, as we can see what everything that's going on in this planet and in this country. So let's move on. And the United States is really talked about in the Bible in the book of Revelation, Revelation chapter 12 and Revelation chapter 13. So those we want to go there tonight. But before that, we need to go to Daniel chapter 7. Now, before we continue, I just want to, how to say this? Let me see here. I just want to not warn you. Warning probably is not the best word here. I just want to ask you to take notes. I just want to ask you to take notes. So I'm trying to make sure that the technical aspect here is working. I just want you to take notes tonight as much as possible, because this is very, very important. So we're going to go to Daniel chapter 7 first tonight to start. All right. Daniel chapter 7. Now, we went to Daniel chapter 2 on Saturday, if you remember. We talked about that statue, that great statue, the dream of the king. But in Daniel chapter 7, it's Daniel that is dreaming. Daniel, he's dreaming in Daniel chapter 7. It's his vision. The king had a vision in Daniel chapter 2. In Daniel chapter 7, it's Daniel who has a dream. What was his dream about? He said, I saw in my vision or dream by night, and behold, the four winds of heaven were stirring up the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea. Now, I don't know what it is about Daniel in these dreams, but these dreams are all nightmares. Just to be honest with you guys, this is a nightmare. Beasts coming up of the sea. Look at the pictures here that these guys were trying to depict what the dream is all about. And so the waters, we know from Revelation chapter 17, verse 15, that the waters which you saw, according to 17, verse 15 in Revelation, are peoples, multitudes, nation, and tongues. We talked about this yesterday. Waters means people, multitudes, nation, and ethnic groups. So the sea, which is water, a form of water, is also people, nations, and all ethnic groups. Okay, verse 17 in Daniel chapter 7, those great beasts which are four great beasts, are four kings which arise out of the earth. So the beasts are actually kings or kingdoms, if we can say that, because that's the same thing that we saw in Daniel chapter 2. The four beasts in Daniel chapter 7 are four kings or four kingdoms. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. The first beast was like a lion. The second beast was like a bear, and we're going to go a little bit faster now. The second beast was like a bear. The third beast was like a leopard with four heads and four wings. Now, leopards are very, very fast. And with four heads and four wings, it's going to be even faster. So, the fourth beast, oh my goodness, this is going to give someone a nightmare tonight. And maybe we should end with a good note tonight. I promise that we're going to end with a good note. So after this, I saw night visions, and behold, the fourth beast, dreadful, scary beast, and terrible, exceedingly strong. It was scary, but also strong. And it was different. This beast was different from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns. 10 horns from these beasts. That's why probably it's different. 10 horns from these beasts. The fourth beast. This beast was different, and it had 10 horns. It had huge iron teeth. It was devouring, breaking in pieces, and trampling the residue with its feet of the things that the other beasts didn't finish. All right. Now, let's compare this with Daniel chapter 2 and the statue, because it looks like they can be related. So let's go to Daniel chapter 2. Now, notice or remember what we talked about in Daniel chapter 2 of that dream with a statue, big statue, head of gold, was Babylon. If you remember, it was the statue was representing, the metal on the statue was representative of different kingdoms that were coming one after the other. Kingdom, powerful kingdom back in those days, coming one after the other. So there was Babylon, there was Medo-Persia, and there was Greece, and there was Rome. Those are the four main kingdoms on that statue, that dream. Babylon was 605, and yes, let's say the lion that had wings also represents Babylon in chapter 7, 605 to 539 BC, before Christ. And then came the Medo-Persian kingdom from 539 to 331 BC. And then we talked about Greece, that thighs of bronze that came after Medo-Persia in 331 to 168 BC. Now, Greece had four, this animal here has four heads because Alexander the great king, the great Greek king, was very fast conquering the world. He actually conquered the world before he turned 30. What was I doing all my life? He conquered the world before he was 30, very, very fast. That's why he's a leopard, fast, cheetah, fast, with wings, very fast. But when he died, his kingdom was divided into four and given to his four generals. The name of his generals are these guys right here. I'm not going to read their names, but you can read them in history books or online for those who Google everything. And after Greece, there was Rome. Remember, Rome was the feet of iron. Rome from 168 before Christ to 476 after Christ. The Roman Empire was the kingdom that was reigning during the time of Christ. You see Roman soldiers in the book Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John, the Gospels, that plays a big role in the life of Christ when he was here, in the life of Jesus when he was here. So Rome is the iron of the feet of iron, but also this fourth beast, the dreadful beast. Look at these eyes, man. Let's move on before someone gets scared too much. I considered the horns. Remember, the fourth beast had 10 horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. There was a little horn that came up among the 10 horns. So, let's look at this first. Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. So 10 of the 3 were plucked up by the roots. 10 of the 3 were destroyed. 3 of the 10. 3 of the 10 horns were destroyed, were plucked up by the roots. But there was a little horn among them that came up after that. So let's see here. These 10 horns, he says, out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. from the fourth beast. Remember, the fourth beast is Rome. It's the same feet of iron in the dream of a statue. Rome represents Rome. So 10 kingdoms out of that. But we know that that we saw that in the statue there were also 10 toes. So let's see if they really correspond to each other. Horns are kingdoms. That's what we just find out. The 10 horns are also kingdoms. All right. So remember the 10 toes? Does that sound like 10 horns and 10 kingdoms? 10 toes were a divided Rome. Rome was divided into 10 kingdoms, or 10 tribes, if you can say that. The 10 toes here, some were strong and some were not as strong. Some were clay and some were iron. That's what we saw in Daniel chapter 2. And the 10 horns are also 10 kingdoms, which is divided Rome. So Daniel 2 and chapter 7 right now are very much the same so far. But Daniel 7 gives more detail about what happens next. So let's look at this. In this horn were eyes like the eyes of man. This horn right here is the little horn that came up out of the 10 little horns. So came out of Rome, or the divided Rome. That's what we're talking about right now. The little horn had eyes like the eyes of man, the eyes of a man, or human eyes, not God's eyes, human eyes, human's perspective, human's way of seeing things, human's way of dealing with things. And he also had a mouth speaking great things. What else about this little horn? So little horn is another kingdom or another power, not represented here by an animal, and has eyes like the eyes of a man or a human, speaking great things. That's what we know about the little horn so far. So after the 10 kingdoms, there is a little horn. The little horn, this is before that rock that we talked about on Saturday, the rock that will come and destroy the all man-made kingdoms. The little horn came up. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit, and the visions of my head troubled me. I understand you, man. I understand you, Daniel. If I were you, I would also be troubled. This is some serious dream or nightmare. Anyway, the same horn, the little horn, made war with the saints and prevailed against them. The little horn that came up out of the 10 kingdoms, out of the divided Rome, out of Rome, made war with the saints and prevailed against them. All right. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. And unfortunately, we're not going to really spend a lot of time with the little horns tonight because we really want to get to America and what's next for America. But these are some really great stuff. And again, if you have some questions, do not hesitate to contact us. If you're on Facebook, of course, you can message us and we can talk some more. We can study some more and learn some more on a more personal, individual level. So anyway, here it is. He shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. All right, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. What does that mean, or what is that all about? Let's look at this little horn. So the little horn will make war against the saints, speak great words against the Most High, and wear out the saints and change times and laws. That's what we know so far. But we know that the little horns will come out of the divided Rome, the 10 kingdoms. And after 3 of the kingdoms will be plucked up, the 3 horns that will be destroyed. All right, so that's what we know so far with this little horn guy, or power. Little horn for a time, times and half a time. Now let's look at the 10 kingdoms. I mentioned this a little bit on Saturday, and now we have pictures here. Maybe it will help a little bit more to understand this. So these are the 10 kingdoms of the divided Rome. These are the 10 toes or the 10 horns. The same thing from Daniel chapter 2 and Daniel chapter 7. Anglo-Saxons, Franks, Alemanni, Lombards, Ostrogoths, Burgundies, and Arelite. All these guys right here. I think I have a list here. These are the 10 horns, 10 toes, or 10 kingdoms. This is after 476 AD, or after Christ. So, this is what happened. Rome was divided because there was not only one emperor anymore that ruled the entire area, this Europe, ancient Europe. All right, 10 horns, 10 toes, 10 kingdoms. Alemanni, nowadays, the modern name of these 10 kingdoms or these 10 tribes. Now, look at this. Alemanni became the Germans, Burgundians became the Swiss, or those who live in Switzerland. The Franks became the French, those who live in France. And Lombards, the Italians, the Saxon, of course, are the people that play saxophone. No, not that one. The Saxons are the English people. And Suevi, Portuguese, Visigoth, Spanish. But these are the three kingdoms that were extinct or were destroyed or were plucked up, according to Daniel chapter 7. The Heruli, they don't exist anymore right now. Ostrogoths, they don't exist anymore. Vandals, they don't exist anymore. What happened to them? What happened to them? You see, remember, Daniel chapter 7, verse 8 said that 3 of the 10 horns will be plucked up by the roots. So what happened to them? In 493 after Christ, 493 after Christ, the Emperor Zeno or Zeno was helped to destroy the Heruli people. That happened in 493 after Christ. That's when they got destroyed. Extinct. Yes. English. Destroyed. All right. In 534 after Christ, the Emperor Justinian exterminated or just destroyed the Vandals. And in 538 after Christ, that was the third kingdom that was destroyed, the Ostrogoths. So 3 kingdoms, just like Daniel predicted, or God predicted through Daniel chapter 7, were destroyed consecutively, and the last one was destroyed in 538 after Christ. History, people. All right. So what happens after 3 of the 10 gets plucked out? What happens after this? Now, all this are still in the past for us. I mean, 400 and something before, after Christ is way 2,000 years ago, or 1,000 and more at least. I can't do the math. All right, 538 after Christ was the last one. The Ostrogoths were exterminated. What happened after that? The little horn, people. The little horn, that's what Daniel chapter 7 says. The little horn came up. It's another kingdom. It's another power. It's not represented by animal. It has eyes like the eyes of a man, speaking great things, different from the other beasts because he does things differently. This power, it's a power. It's a system. It's not a person. It's never a single person. It wasn't the king Nebuchadnezzar. It wasn't all those kings. It was the system. It was the kingdom. It was the power. All right, so the little horn came up after this. Why? Because when the Emperor Justinian exterminated the Ostrogoths, the last of the 3 little horns, he made a decree establishing the Bishop of Rome. Goodness. The Bishop of Rome as the religious leader of Western Rome. So the Bishop of Rome now Justinian, what did Justinian, the emperor, did? What did he do? He was combining political power to religious power. Now, politics and religion are now like a one power that was ruling the ancient Europe. So religious leaders kind of had the same power as the emperor at this time, starting from this time. This was when? 538 after Christ. This is what a professor of history, University of Rome, says to the succession of the Caesars, because before this, the Caesars, there were Caesars after Caesars after Caesars. We can even see in the story of Jesus, Augustus Caesar was the Caesar back then, and then there was another emperor coming after that. The emperors were called Caesars, but now it's the pontiffs or the religious leaders of Rome that also became as powerful as the emperor. The little horn, people. The little horn. Little horn, different, not a political power, a religious power. A religious power. A new power in on the map. A new way of doing things. This is 538 AD. The political power gave to the religious leaders, or the political leaders gave to the religious leaders the same power, or maybe even the power, to reign over ancient Europe. Now let's go to Revelation finally. Let's try to put things together in Revelation. Revelation chapter 13, we did Revelation chapter 12 yesterday, if you remember. Today, Revelation chapter 13. John. Then I stood, John is the author of this book, the book of Revelation. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising out of the sea. Now, Daniel saw a beast, and now John is seeing a beast as well in his vision in the book of Revelation. He saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. That sounds very familiar. We just talked about 10 horns. So it looks like Daniel chapter 7 and Revelation chapter 13 are talking about the same thing. Maybe Revelation chapter 13 will give us more details on what will happen. And of course, that's why we're doing this. We want to know what's going to happen to America. And Revelation chapter 13 says that. So let's go. Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns. This beast, or with its horns, seems to say that he is a political king, or he is a leader. But also the number 7, of course, represents more of a spiritual number 7. And so he's also saying that it's a religious power and also a political power at the same time. So let's see first what it says. Let's go further down in this chapter. And on his heads, a blasphemous name. We just talked about blasphemy in Daniel chapter 7. Remember that, right? That the little horn was speaking blasphemy. So let's continue. Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. Now the beast, which I saw, was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear. And his mouth, we just need a lion. And his mouth like the mouth of a lion. This is exactly what Daniel chapter 7 just said. The 4 beasts. There was a beast, a dreadful beast, which is represented here as just the beast. And then there was and all those things. And then there was a leopard and a bear and a lion. Okay, so this is exactly what Daniel chapter 7 said. The dragon, now, who is the dragon? We talked about this yesterday. Who is the dragon? Let me know in the comment section if you remember. Who is the dragon? What does the dragon represent? The dragon gave him his power. The dragon, the serpent of old. I'm giving too much. But anyway, write it down in the comment section. Who is the dragon? The dragon gave him, who is him? The beast, his power and his throne and great authority. Great authority. All right. So the beast receives authority from the dragon. Let's see if you remember what the dragon is. The dragon represents who? The dragon represents Satan, the adversary, the dragon, the devil, the serpent of old. We talked about that yesterday in Revelation chapter 12. So the dragon actually gives authority to the beast. Gives authority to the beast. These beasts coming out of the sea. We're going to call this beast the sea beast because he came out of the sea. It's the devil, it's Satan that gives the power to the beast, the sea beast. We talked about this yesterday because I mentioned several times that Satan usually uses people just to get to Jesus. Uses people just to get to Jesus and his followers, probably even. We'll see that in a little bit. Let's go. Let's see here. Revelation chapter 12, remember this? And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth, he might devour her child. That was the dragon we talked about yesterday. The dragon gave him his power and his throne and great authority. All right. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded. This, one of the heads of this beast, this sea beast, was wounded, and he was left to die. That's mortally wounded. That's what that means. He had an injury that looked like killed him. Okay. And his deadly wound was healed. But the wound was healed. Okay. Now it's interesting. It's a whole story right now. One of his head was mortally wounded, but this wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. Okay, so after the deadly wound was healed, all the world marveled and followed the beast. Like, whoa, the beast is the best. All right, so they worshiped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. This is some crazy thing, people, because the people, all the world who marveled and followed the beast, they were not just following the beast. The world, yes, they follow the beast, but they also worship the dragon. Everyone who follows the beast are actually worshipers of the dragon, the devil, the serpent of old. Now, some people think that the dragon here means the dragon here in Revelation chapter 13 means another power, another form of power from Rome, because everything started from Rome after the fourth beast. But the context tells us from Revelation chapter 12 that the dragon means the devil, Satan, the adversary. And it's the same context that continues in Revelation chapter 13. The dragon is still Satan. Everyone who follows the beast worship Satan. My goodness. And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. This is the beast, the sea beast. Was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. That sounds like the little horn that we talked about in Daniel chapter 7. And he was given authority to continue for 42 months. 42 months. He was given authority. All right. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God to blaspheme his name. Sounds like the little horn, people. It was granted to him to make war with the saints. Definitely the little horn. And to overcome them. And authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. That's exactly what we talked about the little horn. This beast might be exactly the little horn that we talked about earlier. The religious power we talked about earlier. Let's review really quick. Little horn made war against the saints. Speak great words against the Most High. Wear out the saints. Change times and laws. Let's look at some of the similarities. The beast, what did the beast do? Make war with the saints. Just little word change, but it's kind of the same thing. Speaking great things and blasphemies. Exactly the same thing. That's what we saw. So it's exactly the little horn. This is what Thomas Aquinas said. Thomas Aquinas, I learned about him a lot when I learned history, the history of the church, the early church. We owe a lot to him, actually, and a lot of theology that was developed back then. But sometimes even the good people can be corrupted, and that's I don't know if I should use the word corrupted. Can be influenced. The devil uses people. The people are not the enemy, but the devil uses people. The devil is the enemy, not the people that he's using. The devil uses people just to get to Jesus and just to get to us. But look at this. He says, convicted heretics. Heretics are simply people that are not following what the church is saying. And remember, the church was given authority by the emperor in 538 after Christ, 538 after Christ. So he said, convicted heretics, those people that are not following what we say, our authority, not respecting our authority, should be put to death. That's some serious stuff. That's some serious stuff. As surely as other criminals. Let's look at more what he's saying here. So that's what they did. Look at this. Another quote. The church has persecuted, and only a tyrant in church history will deny that. The church is persecuted. When the church, thinks it good to use physical force, she will use it. That's what the church did. The church had authority. Rome gave authority. I mean, the political power gave religious leaders, political leaders gave religious leaders authority. Now, they were acting, the political leaders were acting under the influence of the dragon. That's what we see here in Revelation chapter 13. The dragon was behind it all. He was trying politically first to kind of put God's people on a leash, if we can say that. But now in 538 AD, after Christ, he is using religious power or religious leaders. All right. So, persecuted, burn people up for what they believe. There is this movie, I'm going to recommend this movie called A Man of All Seasons. It's a very old movie. It's free on YouTube. You can search for it one of those days. A Man for All Season. I hope that's the title. But it's a story of a man, an Englishman, that believed in what he read from the Bible and what he learned from the Bible, and would not follow what the church and the authority was saying. The political leader, his king, and the church was saying. So they burned him. They killed him for what he believed. That's what happened in the Middle Ages, 538 AD, for very long years. Let's continue. Remember, this is why we talked about this yesterday. The woman that represents the Church of God, or God's people, fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared by God, so that there she would be nourished for 1,260 days. The women, God's people who followed God, had to flee away from Europe, ancient Europe, because they were persecuted, not just by political leaders, but the church, religious leaders that just got their power. So they were forcing people to follow whatever they say, and that's not what church leaders should do. I hope I will never do that as a pastor, but that's not what church leaders should do. That's not what God would do. God would not force anyone to love him or to follow him. All right. The woman had to flee. The woman represent God's people, remember? And the wilderness we talked about yesterday was place with no people, or with very few people. We're thinking about the Native Americans, of course. Revelation chapter 13, verse 5 and 6 says, "And he was given a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months. So when he was given authorities, he was only given authorities for 42 months. That sounds very short. But remember, these are signs, these are metaphors. We are talking about prophecy right now, prophetic times, or end time prophetic times, if we can say that. All right, so 42 months. Let's look at this closely. 1 month back then, the way they count months, is equal to 30 days. So 42 months is, let's see, 1,260 days. 42 times 30. 42 times 30 is 1,260. 1,260 days. But we just read that, right? Somewhere. Revelation chapter 13 says 42 months. Let me go back there really quick. Okay. Look at Revelation chapter 12 here. The women was supposed to be in the wilderness, safe, for 1,260 days. That's 1,260. And the beast was given authority for 42 months, which is also 1,260 days. We did the math here. Revelation chapter 13 said 42 months. Revelation chapter 12 says 1,260 days. I hope you're still with me. If you're still with me, write down in the comment section, I'm still here. I'm still here. Maybe not my mind, but my eyes or my body. All right, 1,260 days. But we learned through Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 6, that when we talk about end time prophecy, 1 day is equal a year. I have appointed thee each day for a year, says Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 6. So we need to convert everything again. If 1 day equals a year, 1,260 days is 1,260 years. All right, so from 538 after Christ, if that's when the religious power, the little horn or the beast was given a power, we need to add 1260 years. So 1260 plus 538 is equal to 1798. So what happened in 1798 after Christ? That was a long time ago. Now it's 2020. This is 1798. What happened back then? And history people, historians, or people who love history know what happened in 1798. It's the French Revolution. Oh, okay. I'm not there yet, probably. Let me go here really quick. In 538, that's when the Ostrogoths, if you remember, was overthrown, was exterminated. Okay. And in 1798, Napoleon's general Berthier, maybe it's more pronounced Berthier in French. Berthier. You gotta learn how to speak French with this prophecy thing. All right. This general actually took the Pope, the leader, the religious leader of Rome, in prison in 1798. The reason why the French was protesting, the French Revolution is really based on this abusive religious power and political power that were together, but it's mainly the religious power. So Napoleon knew that if he got the Pope, who was the main leader of this religious power back then, if he got that person, he will win. So his General Berthier got the Pope in prison in 1798, and that's the end of the religious power. This is the wound, people. This is the mortal wound that the Bible is talking about. The Pope was imprisoned. So the religious power that came out of Rome, that came out of the 10 kingdoms, the divided Rome, after the three horns was defeated in 538, and then 1260 years later, now the religious power is imprisoned and doesn't have any power anymore in the ancient Europe. Wow, amazing. The Bible is amazing. So precise. French Revolution. So this is what a Protestant scholar says. The beast here described is the papacy. Ever since the times of the Waldenses, this has been confirmed. The papacy, who has become the representation of the religious power coming out of Rome, out of the 10 horns that Daniel predicted, and that Revelation chapter 13 is calling the sea beast, was imprisoned in 1798, was mortally wounded. Wow. Mind blown so far. The beast, the religious power from Rome. The beast, the papacy. All right, now, again, I mentioned earlier, we're not talking about one single person. It's never a single person. We're always talking about a system. We're always talking about a power, an entire system, a religious power. All right. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded. This is what we're talking about. The beast from the sea was mortally wounded. One of his head. All right. Revelation 13, 11 says, Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth. Now, I know that you might have a lot of questions about what just happened. When we talk about the little horn and the sea beast, there might be a lot of questions, but we went through history and compared the prophecy to history, and history has demonstrated that what God prophesied through Daniel in Daniel chapter 7, years and years before it happened, has come true. And even history was just following the blueprint that God wrote in the Bible. Amazing. But Revelation 13 has more. And now we're getting to America. So if you have any more question about the little horn, the sea beast, do not hesitate to send us a message. Shoot us a message on Facebook, and we can talk some more. We can, individually study some more. Okay, Revelation 13, verse 11, 15. Then I saw another beast coming in the vision, another beast coming in the dream. It's like there's not enough beast coming. This is a really hard nightmare. Another beast coming up out of the earth this time, people. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon. He spoke as a dragon. Every time you see dragon, you're like, oh, Revelation chapter 12 told us what dragon is. This one spoke as a dragon, maybe also influenced by the dragon. So we want to talk some more about this another beast. But because this beast came out of the earth, we're gonna call him the earth beast. The beast come out of the sea, came out of the sea. We call him the sea beast. It's just what we do, and nobody else probably call him like that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The earth beast. This one is the earth beast, another beast. Okay, another beast came out of the earth. We're going to call him the earth beast. And the serpent. Where is the earth? That's the question, right? Where is this earth? What time is it? What time is it? 7:23. All right. Another beast came out of the earth. So we want to know where this earth is, because we know already that the sea is just a people, multitude of people. So let's go to Revelation. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 12. In verse 15 and 16 of Revelation chapter 12, remember the women who flee away to the reason, who had to flee to the wilderness. And this is what happened to that woman. And the serpent poured water like a river out of his mouth after the woman. That's how the serpent was trying to kill the woman. And the baby, remember the baby. Oh, at this time, actually, the baby was born already. And we talked about that yesterday. So, out of his mouth after the woman, so that he might cause her to be swept away with the flood. The serpent was angry with the woman, God's people. The devil was angry with God's people because he couldn't get Jesus. He couldn't get the child. So now he's after the woman. And so he's trying to flood this woman and kill this woman. All right. But what happened to the woman? But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and drank up the river which the dragon poured out of his mouth. And we talked about this yesterday. The earth, the wilderness, is a place where there is not a lot of people. The water represents a place with a lot of people, tongue, nations. Revelation 17 verse 15 tells us that. But the earth and the wilderness is this place not highly populated. And in history, the only nation or kingdom or power that was not very highly populated back then, but is a new player in the game, a new power, was the United States of America. And the United States of America welcomed everyone from Lady Liberty, right? It was a welcoming sight for all these people who want to start a new life, who want to have a new beginning in a new place, a new world. Actually, that's how they called it back then. This was called the New World because they came from Europe, and Christians, God's people, good people, were persecuted from Europe, and they came here to flee or to go away from that persecution, and the United States welcomed them. And the United States was established under that mentality that this is a free country and people will be allowed to practice whatever religion they want to practice, because that's what freedom means. We're going to talk about that more in a little bit, but let's continue. So Revelation 17 says that water equals people, nation, or ethnic groups. Revelation chapter 12 says that wilderness is equal earth or place with no people or not as many people. Back then, it's a new world. Only the native people were here, but it was welcoming everyone that was persecuted. Revelation 13 says that earth, the same earth in Revelation chapter 12, the beast came out of the same earth, because this is the earth beast. Earth equals wilderness. The United States of America, people. We should have the dun-dun-dun-dun, like reveal. The beast from the earth is the United States of America. Oh, that's a big thing. We revealed two things today. The sea beast was the religious power came out of Rome, papacy, according to prophecy. And then there was another beast, a new player, because the sea beast was wounded, mortally wounded, couldn't really do anything anymore. So the dragon has to find another way. The dragon has to find another way to get to Jesus through his people by trying to kill God's people, like he did in Revelation chapter 12 with the women, trying to flood God's people. He needed another way to get to God's people. So the earth beast, the United States of America. Revelation chapter 13. What does this earth beast do? He exercises all the authority of the first beast. You see, it's a new way. It's a new way of working. He's still working under the influence or using the power of the first beast, which was the sea beast, remember? But the sea beast wasn't dead. This new beast, earth beast, is exercising all the authority of the first beast in the presence of the sea beast. And he makes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast or the sea beast, whose fatal wound was what, everybody? Answer. Let me see if anybody here can answer. Yes, healed. The first beast's wound was healed. Okay, so we need to ask our question right here. A good question to ask here. A good question to ask here is, has this happened yet? Everything that we talked about right now so far has happened already. The French Revolution was in 1798. It ended in 1798 when the Pope was imprisoned by General Berthier, who was following the order of Napoleon, who was also a general. All of that happened already. That was the sea beast, was wounded, mortally wounded. Everybody thought that this power is not gonna rise again. But here it says that the power, this sea beast, his wound will be healed. He will come back. He will not say anything actually first, because the earth beast will exercise authority, the authority of the sea beast. And so it's not really the sea beast. It's not a full comeback yet. It's just telling us that the wound is healed. So United States, the beast from the earth. Oh my goodness, we are living in the belly of the beast. Anyway, exercises the power on behalf of the sea beast. Wow. And makes everyone worship the sea beast in a subtle way. Not directly like what the sea beast did in 538 after Christ, when they forced everyone to follow whatever they want, or just follow whatever they say, but in a subtle way, indirectly. Because the dragon, who is really behind all of this, it's not even those people that are really the enemy, it's the system, it's the dragon behind it. Try to use another tactic, another way of getting to God's people and Jesus and God. All right. Notice the beasts. The beast's wound is healed. It's healed. Revelation 13 verse 11 says, the earth beast deceives those who dwell on the earth because of the signs which it was given him to perform in the presence of the beast. Signs, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image of the beast, to the beast who had the wound of the sword and has come to life. The beast now has healed, the wound is healed, and the earth beast is trying to ask people to make an image so that we can worship, so that everyone can worship that image of the beast. And this image came to life. That's what will come to life. That's what the earth beast will do. But let's break it down really quick. The United States, the beast from the earth. What is this beast going to do? It's going to deceive with signs. So it's a wow factor. So what we need to learn is that we need to look out for this. has the United States done something that makes people wonder, like, wow, not just one country, but everybody, a global wow factor, like, wow, the United States of America. So those are the signs that we need to watch. And maybe it hasn't happened yet, or maybe it has. Maybe it's the American dream. Like everybody's like, wow, the American dream. Maybe, but that's what we need to be on the lookout for. It deceives with signs. It's a deception. Okay. It also tells everyone to make an image or worship. Remember, in the Ten Commandments, it says, "Thou shalt not make any graven image," because you cannot worship image. You need to worship the real God. God says, I am the only one God that exists, and there is none like me." But this earth beast is telling everyone to make an image of the sea beast so that everyone can worship or should worship this image of the sea beast. All right. It uses deception and it uses coercion. It is coercion simply means it forces people to worship the image of the beast. The earth beast is telling everyone to worship the image of the beast. Make the image and let's worship the image of the beast. It's the beast. It's still the sea beast behind all of this. And behind that is mainly the dragon, the serpent of old, the deceiver, the father of lies, called the father of lies also in the Bible. Satan, the enemy, the opponent, the adversary. All right, that's the old English I know. Okay, Revelation 13, he was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. Now they get the authority again, and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. The same tactic that they were using in 538 BC, after Christ AD, is now going to happen again. Is this happening already? Not really. I just want to say not really, because I can still worship the way I want to, and I'm not forced to worship any image or anything else than God. I am still free to worship the way I want to. So this hasn't happened yet. This is what's next for America. This is what's going to happen next. We're just waiting for this. We're just waiting for this. All right. These are what's next for America. These are what's next for America. Wow. But look at how the First Amendment of of the United States was written. The United States of America was established under this principle. It was supposed to be a place where you should be free to worship the way you want to worship, where political power, a political entity, is separated from a religious entity. That was the ideal that the forefathers, that the founders of this country, this nation, were alluding to when they were focusing on this First Amendment. Just the first thing first, they said. We got to be free here. We're not going to be coerced. We're not going to be forced like what happened in Europe. This country will be different. And they say, this is the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. A law should never be made from a political power in this nation to dictate what a religious entity should do. That was the basis of the first. That's what the First Amendment means. That's the freedom, the religious freedom, the American identity. That's why America is very attractive. This freedom. I love this personally. I wasn't born here or raised here, but I love this about America. And maybe a lot of immigrants like me think the same thing, that this freedom is so appealing because you can worship God freely. You're not forced to worship anything. There are some countries in this world, in this planet, where the citizens are forced to worship a certain way, to keep certain tradition. But in the United States of America, at least now, no one is forced to do anything or to worship a certain way. you are free to worship. This is why we have a lot of denominations probably in the United States of America. Coming up, this denomination here, this denomination there, the way of thinking, because we are free to worship the way we worship here in the United States. Look at this. Not just that, but or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. We are free to exercise our religion here, or abridging the freedom of speech, free to say whatever we want, which sometimes is like, wow, can you really say that? Or we think about comedians who just really freely say whatever they want, and now we have the anyway. Let me say this first: or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, to protest. It's okay to protest. That's in the First Amendment, and to petition the government for redress or grievances. The people are allowed to say, "Hey, government, this thing is not right. What should you do? You need to change this thing." That's the American identity. Freedom, freedom, freedom. But guess what? Freedom of speech, right? The comedians were always able to say whatever they want, even cuss a lot. But lately, there was this thing that is happening a lot. It's called cancel culture. You are now canceled for saying things that are not correct, that are not politically correct, even if you said it 10 years ago. So there are people that are going and looking, especially for celebrities, looking for what they said 10 years ago, and they're asking people to cancel. They're asking establishments to cancel these comedians, these celebrities. So comedians are canceled. They're supposed to host an event, and they're canceled because of something they did in the past. They said in the past. The same thing with movie actors and all celebrities, people that are public figures. They are canceled. People are asking them to be canceled because of things they said in the past, because they're not politically correct anymore. And where is this? Comedians are saying, where is this freedom of speech thing? Where is this freedom of press thing that is in the First Amendment? It's changing little by little, people. Things are changing little by little. The way we deal with things in the United States of America are changing little by little. That's why we have, I think this year we had a lot of mess here. Yes, we were free to protest, but then it has become a real mess recently. And I'm just saying that from an outsider's perspective, from a nonpartisan perspective. But yeah, is it possible that this country will deviate from what makes it a free country? Is it possible? Maybe that's a real question. Is it possible that this country can deviate from what makes it a free country? The First Amendment, is it possible that this First Amendment will not be respected anymore in the future? And just look at what's going on in the country right now, in the society right now, and ask yourself if it's really possible that things will change. It's probable, it's highly probable that possible that it will happen, at least from my perspective. But you can answer that question yourself on your own. Is it possible that these things will change? But guess what? The Bible thinks that it will change. The earth beast will come out from this area, from this leadership, from this power. I'm saying this political power, this power here, and this the power will not just be a political power; it will also ally again, or there will be a new alliance between political power and religious power, because the earth beast will ask everyone indirectly first, and then will force everyone to worship the sea beast by making an image of the sea beast. That's what the Bible says. That's what we just learned today. Now, you might say it's not going to be possible. The United States of America will always be free, will always be a free country. But have you ever had an argument where people will just shut you down because you have a different perspective? Have you ever talked to someone and because you have different perspective, it seems like you're not a part of the society anymore? It's hard now. It's hard now to really have differences of opinion or difference of perspective. Just think about it. And you know what? I don't want to bet against the Bible. I don't bet, but I don't want to go against the Bible. I don't want to think that the Bible is wrong. Because so far, everything in Daniel chapter 2 happened. Everything in Daniel chapter 7 happened. And everything part of Revelation chapter 13 happened. Everything in Revelation chapter 12 happened. Everything happened so far. So I want to trust the Bible. I can't do anything else but trust the Bible, because the Bible has proven that it's reliable. It's something that is true and I can rely on. But this is what I noticed. Everything that God started, Satan will try to destroy. All these powers that we talked about today, almost most of them started because God wanted to do something. I'm just thinking about the church. The church in the first century, after Christ, of course. The church was supposed to be the representation of Jesus Christ on earth. We had the disciples, Peter, John, and all those guys started churches everywhere. Paul, according to the book of Romans, and all the churches, the letters, the epistles in the Bible, was starting churches everywhere, Jews and non-Jews. And that was supposed to be the church. But if you, for those who learned church history in college, know very well that it's the same church that was raised by the disciples that changed later to be this church that was killing people, that was abusing their power. It started out good, but Satan comes in the picture. The dragon, the deceiver comes in the picture, and what started out good becomes this abusive power that gets to God's people. And the few people that still follows God now has to go away, or has to hide, or has to flee, were persecuted, had to go away from ancient Europe and found refuge here in the United States. The United States was started as God's solution for God's people. God's people were refugees here, and was welcomed here, and the United States was established as a free country. But yet the Bible is predicting that the same United States that was founded under this good principle of freedom will also become the same power that will ask us again to worship the sea beast, or the religious power that came out of Rome. Wow. Whatever God started, Satan will try to destroy. But here is what I want to tell you today. God has started something special in you. God wanted to work in you. God wants to work in you. And he's giving you a lot of information today, probably, but he wants to work in you. He wants to change your life. He wants you to come and worship him. You know, when we talked about this earlier, I think I had that slide here. Everything is still about worship. Who you worship will make a difference. Are you going to worship the image of the beast, that represents the sea beast, forced by the earth beast? Or are you going to worship God? Continue to be the remnant, the little few that still worship God no matter what. No matter what the political leaders will force you to do, you will continue to worship God. And God has started something in you. And Satan will try to destroy it. Satan will try to attack you. The devil, the dragon, will try to attack you. He will use political leaders. He will use religious leaders. But as long as you stay with God, as long as you worship God and God alone, you will be preserved by God. I have that here. Let's end with a good note today. Daniel chapter 7 says, I watched till thrones were put in place, and the Ancient of Days, or God, was seated. God is still sitting on the throne, people. You see, the devil, the dragon, He's trying to create his own kingdom, to fight against God's kingdom. So he's using the sea beast, the religious power, and he's using the earth beast, the new power, the new player, the new player that comes in the picture to get to God's people so that he can get to God's kingdom. And there are these two powers fighting against each other, but God is still sitting on the throne, and he's still God, still the ancient of days, the only one that created things out of nothing, created the whole world. His garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was a fiery flame, its wheels a burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. And I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man. Jesus Christ is called the Son of Man in the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. This is Jesus Christ. Behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven. He comes. The Son of Man shall be, this is what the Bible says in Matthew. The Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of man. This is talking about Jesus. Son of Man here means Jesus. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom. This is the kingdom that we talked about. The kingdom, the rock that we talked about on Saturday. This is now Jesus Christ, the Son of Man, who is given dominion. What was the difference between the rock, the kingdom represented by the rock, and the other kingdom? The rock was a kingdom, an everlasting kingdom that lasts forever. That all people, nations, and language should serve him. Everyone, no discrimination, no racism, no classism, none of these ism exist in the kingdom of God. Everyone is welcome. People from everywhere, people, no matter what accent you have, or no matter how pigmentation of skin you have, like different shades of whatever, everyone is welcome. Everyone from the east side of the planet, from the west side of the planet, from the southern side, from the northern, everyone is welcome. Everyone who serves him, everyone who worships him. Okay, his dominion is an everlasting dominion. This is the rock, people. Everlasting kingdom, which shall not pass away. And his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. All the other kingdom will be destroyed. The rock will come and destroy all man-made kingdom, religious powers and political powers. But his kingdom shall never be destroyed. And this is the promise, people. In Daniel chapter 7, verse 27, it says, the kingdom and dominion shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. We will participate in leading this kingdom. We're not just going to be people. This will be a gift from God. The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. What's next for America? It's sad, but the Bible predicts that America will change, will deviate from the original intent that the forefathers, the founders of America, has established in the First Amendment. And we will probably see it sooner than later. But that's not the end of the story. The end of the story is Jesus is still calling people to worship only God. And in Revelation chapter 14, we're going to talk about this on Saturday, that God is calling us to worship him and him alone, because that will determine who is going to be saved, who is going to live in that kingdom that lasts forever and ever. He has a promise for you. He has a promise for me that he will give this everlasting kingdom for you and for me so that we will possess it. It's going to be ours. And, there is this promise that Jesus says in John chapter 14, verse 1 to 3. He says, let not your heart be troubled. Don't be troubled for what you see and what you just heard tonight. That America will probably change, or will certainly change in the future. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me, says Jesus. For in my Father's house are many mansions. And if we're not so, I would have told you that we'll come and go and prepare a place for you. And as I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again. And where I am, there you may be also. Because the place that he's preparing for us will be ours. That's the promise that Daniel talked about in chapter 7, verse 27. Guys, that's all the presentation for tonight. A lot of information. But I hope that you'll remember this, that God still sits. He still sits on the throne. He has a seat on the throne, and he occupies that seat. He is still the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and he has something for you, waiting for you, waiting for your spouse, waiting for your children, waiting for your boyfriend, or waiting for your girlfriend. So tonight I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to give you a call. I'm gonna not give you a call, but I'm gonna make a call right now. An altar call. Okay. The United States is a beautiful country. I love the principles that were established, that was establishing this country, the freedom that exists in this country. And I am inviting all citizens of this country to be good citizens of this country, to respect the laws and to respect the authorities, the guidelines for the pandemic. Respect them as much. Respect them. We should respect authorities as long as they don't contradict what the Bible says, what God says. So be a good citizen. But do not put all your money or do not put all your investment, your emotional investment, your mental investment, all your investment into this country, because there is a kingdom. There is a kingdom that will last forever, where you will be free indeed, because whoever he sets free are free indeed. So be patient and be consistent and worship God. If that's your will today, if that's what you want to do today, if that's what you want to do today, just write down in the comment section, free, F-R-E-E. Write down in the comment section, free, if that's your wish today. That if it comes to choose between political leaders in the United States or political leaders anywhere else in the world, or religious leaders in the United States or religious leaders anywhere else in the world, between them and God, you will choose God. So write down in the comment section, free. I will pray with you tonight. That's all we have. And now oh my goodness, we went all the way to 7:55. So I want to pray with you right now so that we will not take too much of your time anymore. And this Saturday, we want to talk about what's next for me. What's next for you individually. Let's pray together. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this presentation, a long presentation tonight, Lord, a lot of information. But I hope that some people, at least one person, has received something from this presentation. I pray, Lord, that these information will be cherished, but they will not be afraid. No one will be afraid of this information, because we trust in you, that if we stay with you, nothing can be against us, and you will protect us, you will preserve us. Lord, you saw those people that were writing free tonight. They want to be free and free indeed in you. Lord, free them from whatever keeps them bound, and always give them the confidence that when it comes to choosing between you and other people, we always choose you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for staying until the end. You should get some special gift. We're going to have some really, really special gift on the last day, which is this coming Saturday. Don't forget it. It's going to be at 11 a.m. It's going to be on Facebook and on YouTube. Might be on Zoom as well this time on Saturday. What's next for me? What's next for me? I am receiving a note that the gift will include a gift card worth of $100, and of course you're not going to be there because of the gift, not just because of the gift. You're going to be there because of the fellowship that we're having online, and we got to know each other through all these sermons and these presentations. So nice to meet you, and we're going to have fun this coming Saturday. We're going to have a great time. God bless you. Go to sleep. I pray that you're not going to have any night line from the company. I am receiving a note that the gift will include a gift card worth of $100, and of course you're not going to be there because of the gift, not just because of the gift. You're going to be there because of the fellowship that we're having online, and we got to know each other through all these sermons and these presentations. So nice to meet you, and we're going to have fun this coming Saturday. We're going to have a great time. God bless you. Go to sleep. I pray that you're not going to have any nightmare tonight. All right, God bless you, and we'll see you again this coming Saturday.